Okay, today I just wanted to do a quick video on the advantage of track level effects and talk a little bit about effects. Now, as you may know, there's at least three ways that you can get to your video effects that you want to add. One is on what they call the event or clip level. So when you go in here to add an effect like black and white, let's say, it's going to only add it on that one particular clip. Now another way you can add an effect is simply to come up here on the top, you go to video effects here, and then you can simply drag your effect right onto the clip too. Now another way you can add an effect is on the track level. For the longest time I didn't like adding effects on the track level because you might want to add a certain effect and you don't want it to affect every clip on the track. But in doing a lot of editing and working with Vegas Pro, I come to the realization that there is a distinct advantage about using the track level effects. And let me show you, give you an example. So I'm working on this transition right now, this effect I'm trying to duplicate where the lower half of the screen starts moving, and I'll just show you right here. The lower half of the screen starts moving and it goes into this clip and the lower half kind of slides into place. I saw this effect on another video and I was trying to replicate it in Vegas Pro, and when I get to this point here where the lower half moves from one clip to here to the next clip, I wanted to add a blur in there because I didn't feel the transition was too abrupt, because I wasn't able to get the full range of motion that I wanted. So I figured I would add a blur just to kind of mask that change, that abrupt change. And so of course I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and add it on the track level, and you can come in here to Gaussian blur, and then when you're going to start keyframing, of course you hit this icon here, and then you can start adding your keyframes here. So here I've added my keyframes already, and I can adjust them here and all this. I can adjust whatever I want to adjust, but you know, I found this control in here to be a little finicky, and it's hard every time I add an effect here. Even though I have the cursor synced, I don't always see that. So if I move the cursor, I can see the transition, but it seems like a little sluggish sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes every time if I click here, or let's say I click here, sometimes this will resize down and then I got to resize it back in. And so I've got to kind of deal in this window and watch the monitor over here. So for some reason it's working smoothly now, but I've had issues with like this gap and being in this window when I'm trying to assess an effect, and I got to look over here on this monitor. So once you lay down your keyframes in the Gaussian blur, the markers, the keyframes, actually become duplications of those markers. You can move these markers down here to fine-tune your effects. So instead of dealing with that window, once I've got the keyframes down, let's say I'm off with my timing a little bit, like let's say I want the blur to last a little longer, I can make those adjustments right here and play it back immediately. The effect, see how you see that lag? Now I can adjust this down, let's say to draft, to get a better playback, let's say. But here I can really assess and adjust the effect so much quicker here with these keyframes here than the keyframes inside the effect. See, and like if I wanted to go back into the effect, it's compressed back down. I got to kind of zoom back in, and then I've got to finagle down here. It's actually so much easier to adjust the effect down here with the keyframes down here on the track level. That's if you do a track level effect. And Vegas Pro, I believe it can hold up to 99 tracks. So if you wanted, say you want to add a different effect, you just would simply add another track and add that in. But I just wanted to point that out, that you can adjust the keyframes for your effect right here on the timeline versus going into the effect and drilling down in here and trying to adjust it here. And what I found is this is so much easier, and it gives you such better control and immediate feedback than if you do it in here. And then there's no other way. If you try to do the effect, let's say I want to add the effect here on this clip, the Gaussian blur, let's go in and add it here. let's just throw down a couple of keyframes here. Let's say I put a keyframe there, and then I'll just turn it down to 0. The keyframe's automatically created. You'll see there are no markers when you just do it on the event level only. But if you do it on the track level, you get these keyframes on the timeline itself. And so that's the advantage of using the track level event or effects versus putting them on the individual clips. So I hope you found this tip helpful, and keep watching and enjoy. Take care. Have a great day.